we're gonna start off with fall roundup. Because I guess that's where we're going with this fall roundup.
So
talking about lots of the anime that I watched.
So Andrew's gonna talk about everything, and then we'll chip in.
We'll have like one or two that we've kept up on our scene.
Hey, I'll have a conversation with you guys. That's the whole point of being here. I'm that's why you guys are here. So it's just not me.
So it's not
here.
just Andrew.
Oh, I thought this was just like your excuse to like sit us down and make us like force us to watch anime.
That too. There's many reasons why I made this.
They're like, yo, we need to watch this, and then like we ignore you for 2 weeks. They're like, all right, we're doing it for the
we
show.
have to watch it for this one. God damn it.
Yeah, we didn't even get through that on Perfect Insight because I think at some point I gave up. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn this off and watch something interesting because there's too much going on right now. Yeah. So, as you know, I did my roundup last 2 weeks of Lance and Mask and oh man, couldn't go through that one. Comet Lucifer. So I'm not gonna go through that again because I'm choosing not to go through
you guys
that
already
again.
Talked about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you didn't hear my whole Comet Lucifer thing? It ended with me
going.
It
was just Andrew being super salty about the fact that both of these shows were pretty bad.
Yeah, so nothing got as worse as these two shows. Like these two shows were
bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel. Unless you're a Gundam fan, then you hate Iron Blooded. No shit.
I don't know. Some people like it.
I don't know. I would say it's one of the more casual Gundam shows. Probably.
We'll get to that. Because I have some.
There's no like mech jargon you have to deal with. It's just like people.
Yeah. Hold that for a minute. But yeah, as you know, I hate Lance and Mask. You guys all heard that. You guys actually, in particular, heard that. And I hate Comet Lucifer. Dawson was privy to that as a live reaction and a post reaction.
I think it's privy.
Connor, what you miss is I figured out that it was the same studio who did Absolute Duo, and I went, oh, that explains everything.
Wait, for what anime?
Who did?
Comet Lucifer.
Comet Lucifer.
Me and Dawson both
realized we knew it at some point in the beginning and decided it didn't matter when we should have known.
And I watched the first episode. I'm like, I'm not gonna like this. And you guys are like, no, it's good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, it's not my top.
Whatever. And then it immediately went downhill.
Yeah. You know what? My friends said the same thing about the fucking Avatar movies, and I'm like, yo, guys, you know, The Last Airbender is gonna fucking suck, right? Like, just look at this shit, and they're like, no, dude, this is gonna be the best thing ever. And then lo and behold,
it was not.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Hey, there's some on here that I said this is gonna be pretty good, and it ended up being pretty good. So.
What?
There's something. I just
some things.
Yeah, some things.
From
not
season,
everything. Not everything. But so for a good roundup on those, don't watch Lance and Mask. Don't watch Comet Lucifer unless you're Connor. And so we continue down this list.
Without further ado, let us continue.
I'm literally going alphabetical order, looking at any
chart
because I've already logged in all my things on my anime list, so I no longer I no longer know what I watched. So Concrete Revolution. This is an anime that I told you, Dawson, to watch when it's fully done, which is going to be summer.
Yeah.
And Connor, you could watch this at any time. I really highly suggest you watch it, because you might like it. The storytelling is not as confusing as people actually ended up thinking it would be.
Huh.
So as you know, the first couple episodes are like constantly back and forth, going from different perspectives, changing the storytelling, doing different perspectives. But it's not like that, like 5 on. It's they stay on the past time period, and they stick there for like the whole show.
Huh. Interesting.
And like they kind of do random flashback, like flash forwards to events in the future.
Yeah.
But there's no true what.
Dawson and I are playing like I don't know, some sort of weird ass footsies down there. Dawson just keeps stepping on my foot. I'm like, what are you doing?
I didn't even realize.
That's not the ground you're tapping on, man.
I was just swinging my foot.
That's not the ground you're looking for. So, but yeah, they stick to the one time period with random flashes forward. And it kind of ends, so as you know...
Oh, yeah, really quick, spoilers for all these shows incoming, in case you didn't realize.
Wait, we're not going to, spoiler-free reviews first? Or
no, this is just going to be...
that would take so long.
For every single one, spoiler-free, and then
non-spoilers? No, fair enough. I was going to say we do, a quick spoiler-free round.
Because the problem is there's tons of stuff that I'd love to spoil on here, but then...
Yeah.
I'm saving, so I'm not gonna spoil Concrete Revolution for you guys.
Oh, well then, Nick's on that spoiler thing.
There will be spoilers for the ones that I don't like.
Basically, if we spoil on anything in this video, don't get mad at us, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, but
That should be like a thing on every video on the internet, honestly.
Just like there are spoilers contained.
So
in
as
this
you guys
video.
know, the main character he leaves the organization within that time period, and the end of the season it's not the it's the start of him. Well, it is him leaving, but it's not the catalyst to them becoming enemies in the future.
Okay.
So there's a lot of
I
things.
have no idea which characters you're talking about.
Remember we watched the first episode.
That was
The
a
main-
long time ago.
The main character basically at the end is leaving. Like, it starts off with he's like super working for the organization. He's doing some questionable
This
stuff
guy.
for them.
Oh,
And then
pink
later
haired
on,
dude?
yeah, later on it's him and the character that he just kind of hurt leaving.
And
the
them
group.
teaming up against the organization, and he's become
Okay.
their target.
Wait, who's he teaming up with?
Like some other
The,
characters.
the monster that he like cut the finger
Yeah.
in the beginning and like squirted the stuff into.
I'm just gonna pretend I remember this. So we can
Also,
move
also
on.
like the little magic girls going, "No, don't leave" or some shit.
Yeah,
It was interesting.
The magical waitress.
yeah.
She was cool.
No, it's actually pretty good. That's why this is one of those animes that I'll wait till it's all done. Like Dawson,
Yeah.
watch it. Watch this now. It's all done.
You can
'Cause-
just watch it straight through. Like,
Because it's actually
prefer-
really well done. As if you take this as the introduction, like this whole first core as the introduction to all the problems,
yeah.
and then then you go into the next season of like, okay, we have the issues laid out now to see the clash.
Also,
Yeah.
there's bullshit time travel involved apparently.
No, you mean the best time travel involved. Like,
Well, when you're going back and forward between two timelines, time travel is gonna be an interesting prospect to bring in later with all the flashbacks happening.
no, so there's only one time traveler.
Mm-hmm.
And that time traveler is from too far in the future from the time
Oh,
span.
okay. So it's not like
Yeah.
between the two. Okay.
No, he's like from year 2500,
Mhm.
and then he comes back to year 46.
Mhm.
So it's one of those things where it's, it goes back and forth, but it sticks there. And that's the very disappointing thing is where a lot of people were, they started it and then they just said, oh, it's too confusing, and then like rated it really low and then just dropped it before it actually started like picking up speed and stuff like that. It's like going into Kekai Sense and going, this is some weird storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
to-
just stopping.
Yeah. I mean, what would you do if you went through Kekai Sense and you're like, okay, that's this first episode.
Well, there's a reason I didn't watch it week by week when I was watching.
Yeah,
the
that's-
season.
There's a reason why you guys aren't watching Concrete Revolution week by week, because even for me, like, who can be able to pertain a lot of the knowledge per weeks,
Yeah.
it like I'm lucky that if you go on Reddit, there's a dude who literally has a timeline of here's where all the events took place
Yeah.
and in all the order. So you go, okay, so that's how everything fits in the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So for this one, I could say I highly recommend people watch this. Second season's coming up. Is going to be coming up in the spring.
Spring or summer?
Spring.
Okay.
It's going to be another core animated by Bones. Geni Urobuchi is going to be guest writing it. Some guy from Trigger is also going to be guest writing it.
Hey.
There's a lot of people guest writing on
God. Uro Butcher time.
No, a lot of people are like that. People better start dropping like flies because they're in like there are moments where there's fights like in the future segments. It's like them about to clash, and then it cuts back to the past to show how they like to show the characters that they're about to clash with.
Mm.
And there are moments where you go, there's some death gonna be coming here.
One
because-
can tell.
Because there's a lot of characters that they introduce, and it's a lot about basically treatment of superheroes and how people how you should treat them. Because some
Like
people,
another Watchmen kind of thing.
no, it's almost as if this is the anime version of Watchmen, and I'm not even lying to you. So
Interesting.
watch that show. Moving on to a show you shouldn't watch.
Asterisk?
Gaku Sentoshi Asterisk. I just did not like this show.
I don't think a lot of people liked it. There's a guy who's literally making a 30-minute series on like why Asterisk is garbage.
Yeah. It just looks pretty generic to me.
It's pretty
I
generic.
watched like one episode.
Like, I mean, some people are like, no, man, it's really good though, and I'm just like, and I go, But
Every somewhat generic show has a certain small
Here's the
group
thing.
of people who really like it.
But here's the thing. I sat through Kusumidoshi Kusen, and I felt like I was more interested and invested in that story than I am about this story.
I'm pretty sure I would have liked Asterisk more than Kusumidoshi
No,
Kusen.
I could guarantee you that you would like Asterisk more than
Yeah.
Kusumidoshi Kusen. But I actually sat through most of Kusumidoshi Kusen without having to hit that skip button.
Yeah.
For this, I was like, oh my god, what? There's a vampire now? What? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
There's a vampire, and she sucks the blood out of her sister to power up.
Power up.
But they do, they started the doubles tournament, and so they're doing doubles, and then it ends. It does a thing where it's like, since it's a 2-core season, it ends on like, okay, well, there's a second core coming up. And and then the tsundere girl and the main character are about to kiss, and then all of a sudden all the other girls who are in the harem run in, and you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is pretty generic. I really don't care for this show, and it's one of those shows I was like, why?
Yeah. It's just another Battle Harem light novel adaptation, right?
Yeah, and
There's a lot of those.
People said it would be interesting, and
Well, that's because I'm assuming the light novels are always better than the original.
No,
or
there's
than
a
the
bit-
anime.
yeah,
Because
true.
with the exception of like, what's it called?
Sword Art Online.
No, Sword Art was about equal with the light novels. I've heard Progressive is definitely fixing things though, but I can't think of the one
I feel
right
like
now.
you say that every week. Like, don't worry, guys. Progressive is fixing all of Sword Art.
I say that like once a month maybe. I haven't read Progressive, so I really don't know. And I won't read Progressive.
Is that like a spin-off series?
No, that's
basically the guy who wrote Sword Art. When he wrote Sword Art, it was for like a fan contest, and he won the fan contest. So this was like his first real work. So it's pretty obvious, like, why it's not well written. It's because he had very little writing experience, and he realized that and went back and rewrote. Yeah, yeah. Some
Yeah, but
people are
some people
talented,
are
and some people
talented.
have to work into it.
Oh man, we get to talk about that later. We fully get to talk about that later.
Yeah, but yeah, but basically he went back and started rewriting the beginning arcs of Sword Art from Asuna's perspective. And that's Progressive.
Oh man, that's gonna be weird when it gets to that rapey section.
What? Oh. I hope he just leaves out that arc. I don't know, but
No, but dude, Kirito has to show like how like his sister, his hot sister, is like there.
I liked his sister actually.
His
But-
sister, not a sister.
I'm glad I don't know what
Sister.
you guys are talking about.
Dude, you should watch Sword Art.
The first
Hey
half
Connor,
of Sword Art
why don't you
was
watch
fun.
all of Sword Art and then come back and like talk to us about Sword Art?
Because I don't want to.
It's not that.
I gotta read Boku now.
I know, yeah.
Bad.
Hey, wait, should we just watch Sword Art for the podcast?
I will kill you.
It's not
Don't
that
do
bad.
it. No, I know, but like,
Like, there's way worse out there. It gets more hate than it deserves.
I'd rather someone like roll me for watching it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Speaking of be on the lookout for fuck, I forgot the name of the thing commercial tomorrow. Basically, we're gonna be watching the show about the guy whose hand turns into a little cute
yeah,
girl.
we talked about that
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Are we?
Yeah, coming up. So, Gagatoshi Asterisk, I can't recommend this unless you're a fan of this type of genre. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. There's better battle harem stuff like there. I mean, Kundera Girl is okay.
As always.
The 14-year-old girl is okay. She's voiced by that Hanyo. The blonde hair girl is always DTF, and the tsundere girl is always tsundere. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Heavy Object, an anime I finally put on my on-hold list because I got too far behind, and I went, oh man, I need to catch up to this eventually, but not right now. From what I heard, it's getting better.
No one cares what you heard. Move on.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Kamachi, I'd assume
Yeah, I
it
mean-
would get better. Because all his characters start out, like, really bad and generic, and then he just builds them up
Yeah,
slowly
so-
over time till they're decent.
The reason why I want to keep going and watching this is, from what I watched it was like, okay,
Man,
like-
even our Raildex fan isn't watching it.
Yeah, well, it's because the reason I really like Raildex is I really like the Raildex universe, and this is not, as far as I know, in the Raildex universe.
no, the minute like like fucking Misaka comes in.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
If experts and magicians start showing up in Heavy Object, I'll go.
Dawson's gonna start worshiping it. It'll go down. It'll go right down into the shrine next to the other two.
So, in case you're wondering if you should watch this, both our Metal Gear Solid fanboy and our Raildex fanboy kind of put it on hold. So just keep that in mind.
I've heard it's like the Emperor's New Groove of anime. Not the Emperor's New Groove. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say,
what's it called? The Road to El Dorado.
Yeah.
Like the two main characters have the same sort of dynamic that those two main characters have.
Yeah, and they both end up getting a different girl apparently. So good for them, I guess. There's a dynamic between like 4 characters as they take down objects. I want to watch it. I'm like,
yeah.
But there's this anime over here that I want to go watch, but there's this anime that I need to watch.
I need to watch One Punch for the 4th time.
That's you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying.
Connor just goes.
So
back and
I can't talk about Heavy Object because I haven't watched it. If I end up watching it this season, which is very low,
I mean, if everything else is terrible,
gonna
I can imagine.
Oh, you're right.
We'll
I
see.
just give up on anime for a season.
Just read manga like I do.
Next we have
Return of Kings, not as great as the... No. Okay, this Return of Kings is an interesting thing to talk about because I watched all of it. I enjoyed it, but then the general fan, like consensus was they didn't like it as much. And because so there's 3 main characters, but I'm not saying... K is like Durara. If you made Durara... What was it? What was the first thing I described it as?
You got rid of all the girls.
Yeah, if you got rid of all the girls and you turned Durara into free.
And then you added a little bit of fan service girls.
Is there any fan service girls in free?
No.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, that one girl a little bit sometimes, but not really.
Okay.
Not really.
So, but yeah, K Return of Kings is basically... K is solid. I liked K. And that was the conflict between the 3 main characters and trying to find the main character's identity. Then things happen. Then K Missing Kings takes place, which bridges the gap between K Return of Kings and K. And then you go into K Return of Kings.
Yeah.
And so instead of focusing on the 3 mains, they focused on the outer cast, and it expanded out to focusing on this whole entire picture of every single character in that cast, comparative to 3 characters. And because of that, I feel like people didn't feel that the cast was the show was focused enough.
Yeah.
But for me, who likes that sort of thing of like huge casts,
a large amount of people.
Yeah, a large amount of people. I love it.
There's about 40 people in the picture. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people who can't see the picture because we're obviously.
But there's some of the main ones. As long as you know who like the second in commands and the third in commands of each organization are,
it's not too hard to.
It's not too hard, and then as long as you know who the 5 villains are who make up the Green Clan, it's fine.
Yeah.
But like there's some moments where people were like, why didn't they do this? Why did they do this? Why did they not like? So there's a moment where there's a huge tablet that the Green Clan is trying to take control of, right?
Yeah.
And so they all charge like they go, okay, we need to protect this tablet. So how are we gonna protect it? We're just gonna we're not gonna move the tablet. We're not gonna do anything with the tablet. We're just gonna sit here and defend the tablet from them. And they get in and take the tablet.
Yep.
They fail defending it. And people are like, why didn't they move the tablet? Why didn't they have a fake tablet?
Yeah.
There's a moment where there's a fight between... There's three kings versus 1 king in a room, right?
Yeah.
And the other 2 kings go sit on the sidelines while the other 2 kings battle it out. And they go, why wasn't Shiro and Anna helping out on that fight? Why was it just him, the Blue King, fighting the Gray King? Why was this happening?
Yeah.
Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do X? Why didn't they do Y? And that's a lot of stuff I saw. And there's a lot of jumps in logic that I agree are like, okay, not the solid, but I still think this is a pretty solid season. Granted, I did rate this a lot lower than the other seasons, because I didn't feel the amount of excitement and hype that I got from the previous seasons.
You're like, oh my god, this is so good!
Yeah, and this one, I got to a point where I was like, this is really good.
But
and
it's
then
not as good.
Wait, why is this not making sense? Wait, there's a moment where the Blue King faces off against the Gray King, and they're sitting there and they're having a fight, and then suddenly, they go, "How are you gonna get into my base? You can't get into into the base because I'm guarding it, right?"
Yeah.
And the Blue King goes, "I don't plan on getting into your base." Suddenly, a blimp comes out of nowhere and crashes in the middle of the city, right in front of the base, and all the characters get out of the blimp and go into the secret base.
That's strange.
And they're like, "Wow, you just destroyed half a city to get into this
Some
one
dude's
location."
base.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, K Return of King, solid. If you like K, you might not like this season. You may like this season. Who knows? Next up on our list is IBO, Iron Blooded Orphans. This is only half. It's only half done right now because it's a 2-core season, with the second core airing in winter, which we are actually excited for.
This isn't like a
Yes.
feel bad kind of show, honestly. You might expect it from like the source material. This is like, what is it? It's war orphans. They're supposed to be like slaves. Like they're seen as less than human, and they have some like, oh, this feels bad stuff. But it's like, I don't want to say it, but these characters aren't like expendable or anything. It's very much protected characters in the cast.
I don't know.
At least
Have
for
some
now.
nice plot armor on them.
Yeah.
A lot of them have a lot of nice plot armor, and I'm just waiting for the day that half the cast dies.
Yeah, because like they'll go in and they'll be like, "Oh man, a lot of our people have died." I'm like, "Oh,
But-
anyone we know? No."
Yeah,
It's
no.
just-
The one issue I have with it is that the characters who die are the ones who are wearing helmets with the face masks down.
Yeah.
There's a moment where they go into a ship and they start they start a huge battle on a ship.
Yeah.
And the people with the face masks up are characters that we all recognize and all know. And
They're fine.
They're fine. They never get shot.
Yeah.
But the characters who have the face masks down, they get shot in like the shoulder and they're dead.
Yeah, it's like it's not even a person that you see like talking in episode 2 or
Yeah.
something like that.
No,
No,
it's
it's
just generic face masks.
yeah,
Ally.
And that's the one issue I'm probably having with it so far is that like
it's a little predictable when it comes to that. Honestly,
I'm waiting for half the cast to just die. And
the leads are very interesting characters, though. I would probably say.
yeah,
You have like the really Orga who has like a really good leadership skills, but he's like such a kid in so many ways that like
yeah, dude, don't you just love it when like they joined up with the mafia and then they're just like, yo, like I have all these ideals and the mafia leader is like, well, you're stupid. That's wrong.
Yeah, it's really like stuff that you need to mature to kind of get out of your system.
Yeah, and
Like it sounds good at the time, but when you grow up, it's like that's for not.
and
really
I
the
feel
way it
like
should go.
that's where his character arc is going, is where he starts to mature into more of that, where he starts to mature out of that idealism.
And it's nice seeing all the pressure that comes from the other main on him, Mika, who's like constantly looking up to him.
He's
and,
a sociopathic autistic guy.
who murders mercilessly without thought. It's
Yeah, that last episode where they're like, you like to kill for fun. And he's like,
maybe I don't know.
no, he's just like, hey, you seem bad. I might as well just kill you.
Yeah, he's like, do I kill for fun? Well, you're okay to kill.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's actually the line. He's like, oh, you seem more fun to kill. We'll catch you up eventually. But there's some
Yeah,
great
we'll
moments
get
with
there.
there's some great moments with Harem King in there, and then there's that moment where Mika, like, you just go, okay, you this is the sign of like being a sociopath,
Yeah.
and where
They pull some kind of funny, some fun
yeah,
stuff.
where there's a thing where a sociopath, they don't know, like they can't develop their own like feelings and emotions by themselves. They have to
Yeah.
mimic other people.
Mhm.
And there's a moment where he sees something and then he mimics that same thing like
Yeah.
5 minutes later,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay.
So a little bit of disclosure: none of us have seen any other gun. Well, you've seen a few other Gundams.
I've seen
right?
Gundam Wing.
Yeah, but we've seen very few
Well,
Gundams.
so here's the thing. I was gonna talk to you guys about this. So Gundam Wing, Gundam, I think Seed, Gundam, and Iron Blooded Orphans are examples of parallel universes of
Mhm.
Gundam. There's a main universe, I think that's called the UC timeline. I don't know exactly all the stuff, but there's a main timeline of Gundam, and 90% of all Gundam takes place in that timeline.
Okay.
Specifically, 90% of all Gundam takes place within a span of a year in that timeline. And it takes place over two characters, Amuro and Char, and their adventures through, throughout this huge war that goes on. It's called the 1 Year War. And many anime series of Gundam take place during this 1 year war.
Just in different locations.
Just different crews, different locations, and different people experiencing this 1 year war from different perspectives, and different anime series tackles that. So for this Gundam series, which is not part of the timeline, you're right. It's kind of a gateway anime. It's a gateway Gundam. And what I've heard very mixed opinions of it, where some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the newer fans like this, or like a lot of people who are getting into it like this, but a lot of the older fans are like, it's so tropey and cliche.
For Gundam.
I don't know, in general, a lot of people are like, in general, anime.
I like the two mains a lot.
Well, the fact, like,
characters enough.
Some things I was looking up was like, oh, look, there's the princess character. She always needs to be protected.
There's no, like, Kirito kind of character, you know what I mean?
And there's different brands of generic.
Yeah.
You're not always...
You're not
always shonen. A lot of times you're going to get that character that's like, oh, he's so misunderstood, but he's actually really cool and stuff.
Isn't that Mika?
No. Mika's a fucking murderous...
He is understood.
He's not misunderstood. If he's misunderstood, people are giving him too much credit.
The people who like him are misunderstanding.
But
that guy needs to be in like a mental home sometimes.
We highly suggest IBO. So, right? Do you suggest IBO? Connor?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it.
And you're gonna keep watching it. So
yeah.
From what I've seen, I liked it. I am not caught up, so...
Yeah, you haven't gotten to the full extent of Harem King.
There's a lot I haven't seen yet, but
wait,
from what I watched,
did we ever
I
get
enjoyed
you
it.
to Harem King?
No.
Oh, man. We need... Harem King's... Hey, Connor,
we got it.
How great is Harem King?
It's interesting. We cracked up. We're like, really? They're gonna like say
They're
this
gonna
blatantly?
pull this out.
They blatantly say this. And you know what, Dustin? You might like it, because it's the same writer of Nagi no Asakura. So...
Yeah.
Like, I keep bringing that up. It's like, you know what? You might like it, because, I don't know, you might be like, okay, just remember, the same writer who did Nagi no Asakura and Anohana did this.
Sometimes writers carry over, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Like, I've seen things by the same writer where one I love and one I just don't.
No, here's the thing. A lot of people are like, I'm really worried about IBO because it's written by the person who did Nagi no Asakura.
Lance and Man.
Not talking about
Lance and that. Is it Noragami time?
It's Noragami time.
Hey, something I've actually watched. Yeah. Super hype.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's just me talking one-sided, but...
Speaking of
cool.
mass death of characters...
I mean, a lot of that has to do with the fact that I chose not to watch
death of
these.
Characters, except for, like, not any main characters.
Did people die in Noragami?
Like, one.
Oh, that dude. Yeah, he died. He was a cool dude.
You know what? Like,
dude, a lot of small characters. I saw, like, one episode, and oh my god, a lot of characters
Connor,
died.
do you care about Noragami spoilers?
No, does our audience, though?
Noragami spoilers incoming.
Yeah, inbound. Look out.
In about 3, 2, 1. That motherfucker was father the whole time!
Yep. Yeah.
Is that the doctor guy?
No, okay. No, that's not him. So, basically, the first arc, there's 2 arcs that take place in Noragami Season 2. The Bishamon arc and the Ibitsu arc.
Yeah.
The Bishamon arc is one that you saw the ending of, and that's all the stuff that involves Yato and Bishamon, like
basically resolving their differences that have been plaguing them for years and years and
centuries.
Years. Basically, a large misunderstanding that's just grown over time and festered a hatred. Yeah. And
so from there you saw that where the conclusion was like 90% of Bishamon's like
exactly. Bishamon's family
just dies.
Basically, a lot of them die off. There's a very small percentage left, and she comes to terms with Yato, understands what's going on. She and what's his face, her right hand man, Kazuma, get back together, not romantically, just as right hand man and.
Romantically.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's some, like, romantic tension there.
Pseudo-romantic sexual tension between Regalia.
But, yeah, I was really happy with that arc. I thought it was...
And then I got even happier with that second arc.
I really liked... Oh, what's his name?
Ibisu?
The guy with the cool coat. Ibisu. Yeah.
Ibisu, yeah.
Yeah.
He was cool. So the second arc is the Ibisu arc. And so it starts off with a really hyper-emotional, like, one where basically... in thanks, Hiyori builds a shrine for Yato.
Yeah.
And Yato is very resolute of making Hiyori the like happiest girl ever, and like because his dream since he ever was born was to have a shrine.
Yeah, he has never once had a shrine in his entire time of being a god, which is quite a long time.
And so it starts off with this really hyper happy episode where you go,
it's like, she made him a shrine.
It's super
He's crying tears of joy.
And then you cut to the next episode where he gets caught up by Nora. Nora goes like,
"Hey, you're coming with me.
You're coming with me." Basically kidnapping him.
Yeah.
And like forcing him to murder people. And like Hiyori and Yukine don't know where he went. He's just gone. And
basically that's how Yato has been staying alive for so long, because if a god's forgotten about,
they disappear.
They will disappear.
So every now and then
Yato goes on murder streaks of, well, not quite murder streaks, but people want someone dead, and they contact them, and he will go out and get rid of that person.
Yeah, he stopped doing that, like, in the recent chapter, or in the recent, like...
he goes back and does it again.
There's a whole episode where he goes around killing people.
Yeah.
Because she forced him to, right?
Yeah, he forced him.
Yeah.
Or she forced him to.
And it's a very signs of, like, abusive relationship where he wants to leave, but she won't let him leave and stuff like that. And
he kind of goes catatonic for a while.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of imagery there. And the key point here is that Hiyori, because she's losing contact with the gods, she starts to forget Yato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the point where she totally keeps going like, I feel like there's somebody I'm forgetting, but I don't remember who it is.
Can't remember who, yeah.
And that culminates where her friends are like, hey, we're going on this group date. I need you to come with me to go to this amusement park.
And she's like, I swear I was going to go there with someone. Can't remember. Goes to the music park.
There's this dude who's been like staring at Hiyori for like the past couple episodes.
Yeah.
And like in the manga, there's actual things where he's sitting perched over and like staring at her and watching her. And he's there.
They kind of tone it down in the...
And then he's like all hitting it off with her. And like then the moment where basically she starts to remember, but she's like, I can't remember. And because she can't remember, she starts crying.
Yeah. And
this motherfucker literally looks at her, she's in tears, and goes, this is the best time to make a move on this girl.
Yeah.
And makes a move on her. And was I not wrong on that was one of the best directing parts of this like show?
It was pretty great, just like the kiss there, and then afterwards her just...
No, but what I mean of that episode cliffhangering of like...
Dude, I watched this...
I know, but...
One by one. I don't remember cliffhangers.
Oh, man. So, the directing was so spot on, where basically...
Did they end it after the kiss?
There's music playing, and when the kiss happens, the music stops. It goes silent.
Yeah.
And it's just... It holds on that image for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Then, boom, credits.
Credits roll. Yeah, it was pretty solid. That whole scene was great. Yato and his relationship.
Basically, Connor, what happens is they go, hey, or they tell Yato, like, hey, if you do one more job for us, we'll let you go. You could go back to your friends. And so he's like, okay, I'll do this one last job for you guys. And basically, he has to go into the underworld and save a god who basically has been trying to take control of the phantoms.
Yeah, and the whole rest of the series, the whole rest of the anime at that point of this season is just him working together with the god down in the underworld, Ibisu.
Yeah.
And trying to get out of the underworld because the god of the underworld wants to keep them there.
And then the gods coming going like, hey, Ibisu's up to some shady stuff. We have to go kill him. And then them trying to get Yato back. Like some other characters trying to get Yato back. And then it all culminates into this moment where Yato's reunited with his friends. And they he takes down the gods trying to kill Ibisu, but they're too late, and Ibisu gets exploded. When I mean exploded, I mean exploded.
He gets pretty exploded.
I thought like Ibisu was the one that the bad people wanted him to save.
Yeah. He is.
Okay, so
they do,
but they actually only wanted to get the.
They wanted Yato in a certain place.
Yeah.
At a certain time.
And so basically, Ibisu dies, gets reincarnated because he's a greater god. And Yato is like filled with regret for not saving him.
Yeah, and he has a big.
There's a whole big thing.
Yeah.
And then the season ender post credit scene of like,
is
is Yato, Yukine, and like Hiyori being all happy and walking together, and you're like, yeah, they're all happy again.
Yeah.
Cut pan up to the creepy dude just staring at like them.
The dude who kissed Hiyori previously is
staring.
like staring at them, and
And
he's
then-
like walking away.
No, and then in his hand is the paintbrush that
They were
Ibisu-
in the underworld
Yeah,
to retrieve.
Yeah, the paintbrush. Yeah, so you go, wait a second.
He's got that.
And then Nora appears and goes, like, we have work to do, father. And you just go, you asshole. You asshole.
Yeah, I just love that ending scene of him walking away with Nora like hanging on his back, and just the huge amount of phantoms just like following him in an army. It was a cool ending scene.
And so me and Dawson are resolute on reading that manga at some point.
At some point soon here, Andrew and I will both read this manga, and we will have a talk about it.
Yeah,
so look forward to that.
Classes start tomorrow, so.
For you that's a good thing. For me, that's not.
So yeah, Noragami is super solid enough that I top season, like top of the season, fantastic, 9 out of 10. I'm gonna go read that manga now.
Yeah, I really enjoy Noragami.
Yeah, like the
I'm
first
excited
season
to
I
read
wasn't
it.
convinced. And the amount of content that was in that second season had me convinced.
Yeah.
So
The second season was definitely better than the first. If you haven't watched Noragami, I would suggest
Go
you watch it.
go watch Noragami.
I know
Yeah.
we just spoiled the whole thing, but
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'll cut it. Like I'll not cut it, but I'll put a timestamp like cut here.
Yeah.
So
Sounds good.
next up on our list,
One Punch.
Connor, do you want to do the yell?
the what?
The yell.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't pull that off.
So So here's the question, guys: is this the 10 out of 10 perfect anime, best anime
Okay.
ever made?
All right, it's definitely not perfect.
Yeah.
Right, I was actually a little bit sad that it got like, as crazy as it did, because its strongest point by far is like the animation in certain moments,
Yeah.
and the sound design, comedy, like everything works really well together. There's a reason I wanted this to be adapted so much to a show, but I didn't realize it was gonna be like the next big like sort of shonen-y thing, and it's not even supposed to be a shonen.
It's supposed to be a parody on a shonen.
Well, it's supposed to be sort of a seinen in itself
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like the amount of gore in it, like the fact that there's so many non-fights and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the anti-shonen.
Oh my god, it caused so much cancer online though. It was insane. Ooh, how is the show supposed to be interesting if it kills everything in one punch? It's gonna be normal.
Connor's biggest
How
problem
many
with
fucking threads do there need to be about Saitama versus Goku in a fight? Oh my god. No, like the internet was destroyed by One Punch Man. Not even the internet could survive. But seriously, the show itself was a lot of fun. We get to the last 2 episodes here, and it's the Saitama versus Boros fight, which is pretty much where everyone knew it was going to end off.
Yeah. It'd be weird if they did it anywhere
yeah,
else.
Fantastic
animation.
No,
The
dude,
fight was choreographed pretty well. Like, there's like little touches everywhere. Like, they instantly vaporize buildings they come through, so you can see like slime of the like melted metal. Like just
Yeah.
They did a
floating
really
in the
good
air.
job animating it,
It was
and
great.
Madhouse being, Godhouse is
Yeah,
amazing.
Madhouse
And
did a good job.
Yeah, they sprinkled little references to like the manga and the webcomic throughout the show.
Yeah, to set up a season 2 that might be like 4 years from now.
Yeah, a lot of like Genos' notes you can actually find references to the show and stuff.
Yeah.
Or the manga.
So yeah, you think
It
it's a really
was
well
a
done.
really solid adaptation.
Yeah, solid adaptation. Like, I mean, there's nothing else we could say about it, to an extent of like just the show itself.
And it stayed super honest to the show.
Yeah, say it's super honest.
felt
It
like-
did well.
Honestly, Sweet Mask was a little bit different than I thought he was at the beginning.
Yeah.
But they kind of removed that veil later on and was like, no, he's really like this. So
Yeah. Yeah, that one scene I didn't like it too much, where Genos meets Sweet Mask early on.
yeah.
I wasn't too fond of
Well,
that.
it's
But
important
besides that,
it's important to have a sort of facade of like this really nice guy that everyone wants to be around. He's like the really he has a sweet mask,
yeah. he
But
does.
that's not his name. What's his real name?
handsome sweet mask.
No, it's my mask.
Moomin.
Moomin Rider.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now Moomin Rider is a parody of Kamen Rider, so it's
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
But basically, the worst part about One Punch is how much everyone likes One
it's
Punch.
the hype.
Dude, 9.06? No, that's nah.
I'd rate it like a 9, but I'm
No,
a fan.
I know, but nah, man. Nah.
I don't know.
It's
Again,
not, like, it's great, but it's not, like, the best thing I've ever seen. It's not, like, this perfect anime that people are like...
Especially on a site that tends to kind of middle things. Like, my anime list tends to always average out shows. Like, even the really well done shows tend to get like an 8 or something.
Yeah.
Like stuff that you would usually call a 10. Like, I don't know, Bebop's at like an 8 point something.
Yeah, exactly. So are you telling us that this is the number one anime?
This is better than Bebop.
I
mean, some people would say that, but for most anime snobs, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be considered better than Bebop.
I liked One Punch a lot, but I think I liked Bebop more.
Yeah.
Like, is it better? Like, think of, like, the big anime that people, like, usually rate on the top of my anime list, and that's Cowboy Bebop, Steins Gate,
Gintama, Full Metal Alchemist.
Is One Punch better than Full Metal Alchemist?
Legend of the Galactic
Well,
Is
Heroes.
One
how
Punch
can you
better?
ask that question to either of us?
I'm using rhetorical questions.
Okay.
Is One Punch better than Steins Gate?
Yeah. No, it's kidding.
Are you though?
Different niches.
Yeah.
I
Do you want
enjoy
to
One Punch
go fight outside right now?
more. Who do you think would win? I have karate. I can't reach. Sorry.
You mean train in jujitsu, karate, and
Yeah.
Not gonna make a fat joke.
why is it on the fat jokes list?
Only today.
Is it because I ate that whole sandwich?
It might have been.
I think it
that was
was.
like the start of it.
Andrew just ate a really big sandwich
I don't
today.
know. I was riding home with your dad. And he must have like channeled it into me.
Oh man, that's terrible. That's terrible and so true.
See,
I'm not sure
I'll
if
go
I'll
beyond the boundary to make comedy work.
See, I don't know if I'll cut this, but there's a moment during like break where like some family friends walked up and was like, "Oh, hey, you look like oh, you
Oh,
like,
hey, you look fat.
no." They go, "Hey, you look just like your dad. You're just like you're looking just like your dad." And my dad just goes, "Yeah, a bigger version of me."
So cold.
And, like,
That's amazing.
Like even my family friends like
Wait,
can't
are
stand
you
like,
taller than him?
yeah.
Okay, that's probably like
No, he meant bigger. Like he even went like this. He even made the hand motions of bigger.
like the white.
Yeah,
hand
wider. And then even like the friends had to like we're taken
Take a
aback
step
by that,
back.
and we're like, nah.
Man, now I really want to fight.
Yeah. Just get into a fist fight. One punch got you hyped.
Yeah.
What was the Anamaru
Start a
thing?
conversation on Reddit. Who would win in a fight?
No, wait. What was the Anamaru article? It was One Punch Man inspires millions to go out and exercise, so no one's watching anime.
Here, what's your Rumbler account?
So moving on to a great Punch Out, Origaru Showman sample. I'm not even gonna go all of that. Showman sample.
I want it. Kako ni shomen sample toka toshite gets sorry.
What? You missed the beginning.
Gets us in there.
Yeah.
Gets.
Oh my god, that's the best. I did not know gets. So Connor, how'd you like Showman sample?
The last episode was interesting. In general, it was a fun show. If kind of dumb at a lot of points, and,
But that's like
and very nonsensical. It doesn't really follow its own logic a lot of the time, but it's gag comedy. It's gag comedy with a lot more setup to it, and you have to sort of like understand the premise and think the premise is funny to kind of get the whole thing. But the last episode was literally just how many fucking jokes can we throw at the wall, and it was just me going. I was just going, what the fuck happened?
It went up to like Baka to test. It like almost to
Worse.
Jokes per second.
It broke the genre. It was like, wait, no. What is it doing here?
What? Wait, what? I went through
Father! Some guy clashing with this bearded, like, butler-looking guy we never met before, and like the most shonen-looking thing
and
ever.
they're having like a fist fight where the fists are
Little tiny
clashing,
fist fight, yeah.
and like there's wind coming off of it, and
Just
then they
pulling out all the
they
tropes.
cut later, and like their clothes have like exploded off, and they're like fighting, and then like you cut to like moments where they're just like, wait, where'd you get that outfit? It's like, oh, I found a room where time doesn't exist in there, and you go, wait, what? All culminating to a huge gets. Yeah, it's solid show. I mean, I started reading the manga over break.
So dumb, but it's fun.
I started reading the manga over break. I'm almost to the point where the anime left off. But like, there's a couple of things I was like, okay, I'm not in the mood to read this right now, so I didn't push forward. But I'm interested, like, I'm really interested to see more of the other two harem characters that are barely in this one.
Yeah.
Because, like, that childhood friend, like, when's she coming in? When's the maid gonna be more of a character? When's, like...
That's such a weird thing.
The what? The
She
maid?
just makes out with him while he's sleeping all the time.
Really?
Dude, you gotta watch Showman
Fuck,
Sample.
I'm
really
sorry.
need No, the weirdest thing about... I tried to watch Showman Sample, and I realized I've seen so many disjointed episodes of Showman Sample, I don't know where to
Sorry.
start.
Dustin,
Because I don't want to rewatch the first episode
Here's the
again.
thing. What is the thing she says to him when he wakes up?
I don't remember.
Really? Never mind. Well, we'll come back to it.
We'll come back to that when Dawson sits down and watches all of Showman Sample. Why didn't we just watch Showman Sample? that would have been a really... Oh, man, dude.
Man, I want to watch anime South Park.
Osamatsu-san?
Yeah, it looks interesting.
We did
I heard
not...
it's really fun.
Hey, how's Wario no Seraph, Dawson?
I don't know. I read the manga at one point, and I totally am not caught up with it in any way, shape, or form.
Is it good?
I enjoyed it.
Should I read a Wario no Seraph?
Did you like Attack on Titan?
I like the Attack on Titan that's not Attack on Titan that
Likes
everyone
the
knows
manga.
of.
Because it's a lot like Attack on Titan.
I don't know if you know what Attack on Titan actually is.
Okay. I enjoyed it more than watching what has been out so far of Attack on Titan.
But that's
I
terrible.
haven't read. I know. But I enjoyed it more than that.
Come on, the animation was godlike in Attack on Titan. Like when they're swinging and shit.
I know, but it doesn't mean that the anime is not trash.
Basically, do you like the general concept of Attack on Titan?
He reads the manga, so I would say yes.
The problem is the general concept changes.
We'll just say yes. You'll enjoy Wario no Seraph. You like everything. Come on. And moving forward.
You'd honestly, I feel like it wouldn't be your favorite thing in the world, but I think you'd enjoy reading it.
I guess. I like World Trigger, so.
Next we have
Yeah.
Calvary.
Oh wait, I was about to get it. So hey, Dawson, what's your opinion on Montagari series?
Dude, I haven't watched. I watched the first 10 episodes of the first one.
I'm making a joke. Calvary, great show. I wish there was more source material I could go look at and stare at. I wish this got a second chord than Asterisk did. I wish
The last battle was more than one scene.
I wish that last battle was actually less than actually a second long and been great. Because think about that. I showed you guys that last battle. That was from the character's perspective of slow-mo. Think about from the audience perspective of this hype fight between...
they could have been thinking all that stuff before the battle happened. And then they ring the bell and it's just... That'd been cool.
Yeah, because... the thing is, then I like that moment where it hurt... The thing I like about cover is, again, lack of color, where it just takes on all the color and then just that slice, and it's just... Ooh, it's so good. Like... I was like, I think I was like 3 a.m. I was watching that. I was getting super hyped up about like just that one, like that quick fight. I was getting like
goosebumps. Kind of Bleach in some areas. It's just like character fights other characters. I don't know. The way I said it was it's very much a big 3 shonen. It totally reminded me of Chunin exams from Naruto.
I mean, if those actually had
part 3 of the Chunin exams.
If those things had legitimate romance, maybe.
Yeah.
Like. This one has a legitimate romance where 2 characters end up having sex by volume 9.
Interesting.
It doesn't necessarily make it a quality romance just because they bang.
Also, she's not Tsundere. That's an important thing to know.
Well, it's a very interesting romance because it's like they're in the relationship, but then like she keeps like she's super DTF and he's like,
yeah,
but no.
But that's so many MCs.
Yeah.
With like girls that are DTF,
no, but
and
like,
then he's just no.
His explanation's better on like most MCs where they're like nervousness.
No, it'll start a war.
Yeah, this one is just literally, unless we're married, this will literally cause a national crisis scandal. That it almost caused a national crisis scandal just by us kissing. So.
Yeah, I haven't watched the show, and I'm pretty snobby about romance,
yeah,
so I'm just gonna stop
so,
talking.
Yeah, Connor. Yeah, so
it'd be best if I just didn't say anything.
But so, Calvary, great, 8, 9 on 10, 8. No, 8.
Oh my god!
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god! Are you
no,
serious?
8 out of 10. 8 on 10.
Okay, so Andrew, Did you finish Sakura?
No, I did not. So I sat down and I looked, what are the animes I need to finish? I had Young Blackjack, I had Cavalry Asterisk, Sakurako, Heavy Object, and Anti-Magic High School. And I went, let me start with Young Blackjack. I got to the end of Young Blackjack and I immediately went to my anime list, took Sakurako, took Anti-Magic High School and put it on the on-hold list, and went, I think I'm good with that. Because I sat down, I went to Young Blackjack, I was like, man, I really don't want to sit through Sakurako. And I told myself because the thing is, when I watched Young Blackjack, I did my skips. And I went, okay, I know what's going on, skip. And the problem is, with Sakurako is, I want to go back on that series and watch it without hitting that skip button. Because I actually thought it was a pretty interesting thing and pretty, cool thing to watch, but the issue is I'm just not in that mood to watch it. And it's one of those cases where I'm like, okay, I'll put it on the on-hold list, I'll hold this off, and then I'll watch it later. It has good animation. There's that magical girl moment where she, all the skulls are flying and that's super well animated. Pretty good. Story is pretty lacking, and I heard that it ends on a very not an ending note where it goes, okay, that wasn't a finale. MC obviously has the hots for her, but she's obviously engaged and actually is in love with her actual fiance, so so yeah, that's all I could say about Sakurako is I can't talk about it because I haven't watched it. I'm not gonna rate it, and I'm gonna just hold off on talking about it.
You just set it to the side for now.
Yeah, set it to the side because I don't know about that, man. I look at that and I'm like, not today. Not today. It's like when I go look at Assassination Class, I'm like, should I read Assassination Classroom?
Not today.
Not today. I'll put it over to the side.
Yeah.
Next up is let's see. Hey, how's speaking of Attack on Titan, Chibi Attack on Titan's pretty dope apparently.
Really?
I don't know.
Who knows?
We didn't. Really?
Yeah.
I don't
have
know.
a good opening.
Yeah.
It's kind of a remake of the.
Oh, okay, we're almost done here.
Cool little fan thing.
We're almost done here. So we have
Perfect Insider.
Perfect Insider. You guys the problem is
We couldn't.
it was
We
not.
got distracted by a bunch of people running in.
Yeah, so maybe on another occasion we'll wrap that up because I really do want to talk about the interesting.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it from the beginning in order to talk about Perfect Insider.
So it's you know what? At some point we'll just make it a week. We'll make it a week. We'll make it a week,
But
and
it's
actually,
sometimes hard to understand.
you know, I feel like he just came in with a bitter mood on that one.
So,
So until then, I'm just gonna say that
same
pretty
time.
good. 8.5 out of 10. Pretty good. I enjoyed my time with Perfect Insider. I love the mystery that unfolded, and I like the relationship between the characters.
What was your favorite part of the show?
And
Nobody can hear you from back there, Connor.
Yeah,
It's cool. What was your favorite part of the show is what I was trying to say.
Stop, Connor. Just stop.
You still have
Stop with
answered
the-
Following on
my
to
question.
Anti-Magic High School, like I said, I did not finish that. I want to go back and watch Edgelord the Harem anime, but until I find the time to, I think I'll enjoy this more than Asterisk. Because you know why? I found myself laughing at these characters a little bit more than I did about Asterisk.
I think I would have enjoyed Asterisk more.
Because here's the thing.
Personally.
You have...
I get really turned off by
Mech.
Mech and
CG.
Edgy. CG.
No, but here's the thing. I feel like it's edgy enough that I'll be laughing super hard at the edginess. And if it's not that, there's the sword who acts like his little sister. And just as real, I was laughing every time she was on screen. There's the DTF, operator who's always I don't know if I showed you that. There's a moment, so they did the whole tropey thing where MC takes one of the crew members back home, and so she's convinced oh no, he's probably gonna marry me so that I don't have to marry this other guy. I better consummate this marriage, and so she walks out and is totally naked, walking up to him, and he's all super and then literally all the characters file in at that moment because harem trope.
Yeah.
And literally it starts off with the mage girl. She walks in, and they're like, "Hey, you should have knocked first." And then everyone else files in, and the characters stop. They look, and they're like the two girls who are just like, "How could you?"
Yeah.
Like, how could you? And then the third operator girl just goes, "Why wasn't I invited?"
And it's like, okay, at least that makes this somewhat less.
And that was the punchline where she was
Yeah.
like, "Why wasn't I invited?" It's like, okay, I'm.
At least you did something interesting.
Yeah,
I think. Good
so
job.
that's the reason why I feel like I would enjoy this a little bit more is because like there's probably moments where I'll be laughing a bit about some of the moments going on. Utari Mono.
Oh yeah. Besides the fact that the new opening is
It's
shit,
the best.
it's terrible.
It's the best.
Absolutely
It's
terrible.
so good.
So shit.
It's so good, guys.
Still frames the
So here's
still
the thing.
frames the opening.
Here's the thing. I don't know if I like the opening because you guys don't like the opening, or that I legitimately like the opening.
It's just let's show a bunch of still frames and have a super uninteresting song in the background.
The song is super interesting. I like that song.
Not at all. There's nothing happening.
Still
in
frames
it.
aren't that interesting. They don't show anything off. It's literally just characters.
Oh, they do show stuff off. You gotta sit there and watch.
I do not agree on this.
But anyways, the show itself.
The
is
show
a comfy
itself.
slice of life
So-
with weird shit happening.
So no,
It's about to not be anymore.
Yeah. So let's talk about that comfy part where it's like, okay,
The whole first 12 episodes were very comfy and fun, and MC gathering his party, basically. As this is a sort of his harem, I guess. So, I mean,
Alright, he has
I don't
two
know.
sex.
he does have 2 sex slaves, and it's great.
I can't wait for the inevitable character deaths of half this cast.
Somehow I just feel it's not going to happen.
Dude, they're sending little lolly yaoi girl off to war.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Dude, what are they going to do if she dies? How are they going to have... How is she going to... They're going to show their love for BL. Otherwise, like, she can't die.
No, the comedy that was great though. There was
Yeah.
No,
the
even
acting.
is it-
The acting was amazing. The whole acting scene, where it's like
yeah,
they had to pretend they like kidnapped someone,
and the fact that like they went off, like even the soldiers were like
And they're
eating
like,
ramen.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, this is like such
Which
a-
episode was that?
That was the
11.
second time. Yeah, second,
11, yeah.
I
really enjoyed
I
11.
like even though we're starting to change like focus onto more of the action comparative to the
Yeah.
the slice of life stuff.
In the most recent episode, there is like a lot of comedy still. In the most recent, you know, the larger guy who's in charge.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
the larger
Oh,
in charge people.
Decofono?
Yeah, literally, it's just the entire cast shit talking him.
Like, this one character
this
is just
one
getting
character
shit talked the
is
entire time.
like, the amount of shit that's dumped onto him is like he should have died under the amount of shit that was put up.
And you'd probably think, oh, he's like the character who's gonna betray everyone. No, he's the character who's just gonna die.
Because let's see,
He's just dumb.
I
Like,
think
they
I
say he's
told you
dumb, and
guys-
he is.
the thing I told you guys is he's that kid who's the third string like quarterback because like his dad donated a lot of money to the college.
Yeah. And
like,
occasionally he tries to showboat and just screws it up
Yeah.
for everyone else.
exactly. And he's like, I got this, guys. I got this. I'll go out on the field and score a touchdown and gets tackled the first thing that goes on.
Yep.
And like the amount, like even the emperor is just like, well,
His dad was loyal.
His
That's
dad
about
was
all I got
loyal?
to say here.
because that was so. Even though they changed, like they're starting to change formats, there's still a lot of comedy going on, a lot of tension building.
MC still doesn't give a shit.
And
Yeah, it's a funny show. We have a nice MC. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Utari Mono's fun, and it was comfy. I don't know if it'll
I
continue
love
comfy.
looking at the descent of the score because everyone's like, when's the action gonna start? Not yet. Okay.
Yeah. Everyone's waiting for the action. I'm sitting here like, oh god,
No,
the
that-
action's starting.
That's it. That's in Calvary where
I'm honestly
everyone.
with you. The action may ruin it. Though a lot of people are like really sad that this isn't more like accurate to the source material, which was much more actiony.
Yeah. So perhaps.
I don't know. Again, you guys, we don't know yet. We
Yeah.
might.
We'll see.
And I'm surprised this is one that you guys stuck with. No, I think it was I came to you guys on that second episode. I'm like, guys, check this out.
Yeah.
And you guys watched the second episode like, oh, now I'm in. Now I'm in.
It took
and
a
then
while for me
and,
to get
and then
into
we went, wait, where's this going?
This
Yeah.
is Monster Hunter.
This is Monster Hunter. Wait, why is this more Dawson stuff than our stuff?
It was weird. On the first episode, I was so scared it was just gonna feel like less interesting Spice and Wolf, but it was they're nothing alike, which I really was glad of.
And so it's really good that like now we're gonna go more into the action. That's really interesting.
All right, we got one more to go. Andrew.
A quick wrap up on Young Blackjack.
Anyway, yeah.
To Young Blackjack. Wait, didn't you put on hold Young Blackjack?
No, I watched all of it.
Oh, you did?
No, remember Young Blackjack's...
I remember, yeah.
Young Blackjack's the reason I put things on hold. Because I sat there and I was like, because, okay, so it's Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And there's... The thing about my family is that they leave at different intervals. So at some point I just brought down my laptop because I'm like, I'm bored. I'm just going to start watching anime. So I'm like... most of my family's gone. Like, I'm not doing anything, so I'm just sitting there on Christmas watching it. I caught up to my Noragami.
Yeah.
No, I watched Noragami that morning before anything. I caught up to my K, and then I went, okay, I need to finish something.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get something off this list, and I was like, can't watch Aztec or Calvary because that's just tropey harem stuff.
Yeah.
I don't feel like watching a mystery Sakurako. I don't know about Anti-Magic High School. Oh man.
Yeah.
There's a moment where like they take the bunny girl and then put her into like a very like provocative outfit where it's just bandages covering up her like private parts and that's all. Like that's all her outfit is.
Goddamn.
And I'm just like, but so. I went, okay, I'll go through Young Blackjack. And I don't think I hit that skip button fast enough. Because dude, it's not my thing. You know what? That's the thing. I came off of it. Where people like this. People really like this show.
Yeah.
They really, really enjoyed this show. And I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm better off without.
I'm better off without... I think I would have been better off if I didn't watch this show.
Yeah.
I think there was a net loss within this show at some point.
Loss. Enjoyment to time ratio.
Yeah, because like it had this moment where they're just yelling and like dragging the guy out of Vietnam, and then it kind of got boring-ish with like where they were going into like Blackjack's like past, and then this doctor who didn't have any limbs who saved, and then they went to like, and then it got to that final episode where I was like, well, do they want me to cry because this girl just died?
Yeah. I
don't really care. And then...
Well, you were skipping through it, so...
No, I really didn't care, though. At that point, I just didn't care. And I was interested enough in that episode that I didn't skip through that episode. And I found I still didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found out, I was like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
What did I rate this? Like 5 out of 10? 6 out of 10? And I was like, that's good. I'm good, man. So, Young Blackjack, I mean, if that's your thing, if that's your swag, go for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Pulling out the swag.
Pulling out the swag lines here.
That's how that works.
Hey, World Trigger's on this list, actually. No, don't watch World Trigger.
Okay.
No, seriously. So, World Trigger, I dropped by to look at the anime because I read all the manga. Because I wanted to watch all the hype moments. So, I watched all the hype moments. And then I was like, wait, there's a new season of World Trigger airing this season. And I click on it, I'm like, who are these characters? Who? What? Who's that? Why is there this green hair girl? What? And I discovered that they said, "Oh wait, we're out of content because the manga, like we basically caught up to the manga, so we can't animate this. What do? Let's make a totally original story that involves the characters doing other things." And I went, "Wait, but the problem is you left off in the middle of the B rank wars where they're in between matches." Meaning that in that time period, instead of training matches, they went off to go solve this other problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, no, shut up, World Trigger. I like you, but not the anime. Mm-hmm. So don't watch World Trigger. Hey, go watch Valkyrie Drive, apparently. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, Dustin, how was Yuri?
What? I didn't watch Yuri. I should watch Yuri. I want to watch Yuri, but I haven't watched Yuri. That's my current opinion on Yuri.
So, hey, my favorite joke from Showman Sample is the Yuri bit. You walk in, 2 girls on each other with a copy of Yuri on the floor. What else do you do? Let me do. Hey, you know what? Komori-san's pretty good, pretty decent. I liked Komori-san. It was nice and comfy and cute.
Okay,
and
I wonder what the fuck those weird bomb things are on the right side.
we don't talk about that. Kagewani. That's a show that I feel like that could certainly be a night where we just sit down and just watch Kagewani.
I need to finish it at least. I got like halfway through.
Because here's what you missed. You missed the Tremors episode where they just went full Tremors. You missed the episode where the shadow people get involved and they go back into the past and there's wait, why do you have a gun in the early 1800s? No, I don't care. But one of the funniest things about Kagewani is that the anime ends where you think it should begin.
Yeah.
Where X character says, I'm gonna go do a thing, and then anime ends.
Goddamn.
So, second season of Kagewani?
Maybe. Let's hope. Shorts get second seasons sometimes.
Really? Well, it's because it's really cheap to make, right?
Decently so, yeah. I can't understand what my husband's saying got a second season, which it was great. It's a short series you should watch if you haven't.
Yeah, I guess. So, oh, wait. I forgot. There's a really important thing that's not on here that we need to talk about.